Become a Golden Knight today and never miss a video by clicking that subscribe button and that bell. Anyway, on with the video. Hello my Golden Knights, it's richyrichgold here and welcome back to Greenville Car Reviews. Now in this episode we will be reviewing the 2020 Sir Rodgers Constellation. But before we do get into it, I would just like to tell you guys something very quickly. So down in the comment section below, I'd really like to actually know what you guys want to see on my channel, primarily I suppose. So yeah, just go ahead in the comment section down below and let me know what kind of content you enjoy and my kind of favorite content that you see on the channel. So thank you very much for the support and let's get into it. Now the Constellation is located under the SUVs and luxury pass type. So it is located right about here down the bottom. I believe it is the most expensive luxury SUV in the entire list that we have, and for good reason. So as you can see here, we have just the base price of $475,000. However, as you can see, we have some different trims. But before we get into those different trims, let's go through the colors that it comes in. So we've got Tuscan Sun, darkest tungsten, Arctic white, black, Iguazu blue, bohemian red, purple silk, Galileo blue, dark emerald, orange, magma red, midnight sapphire, Brooklands green, and finally Petra gold. So I've gone for the Tuscan Sun for mine, but this is where things get interesting because the trim changes the price drastically. We've got the base price of nearly $500,000. Then we've got the Midnight type, which kind of blackens out some of those chrome accents, and that brings it up to another, that adds another $30,000-$40,000 onto that. But then we've got the Ultimate version, and that is the golden version. It looks fantastic with the white or the black, or maybe some of the other colors, but it is a whopping $1,060,000. This is no joke, guys. This is probably one of the most expensive cars, or definitely the most expensive SUV in the entire game. I have only gone for the base one just because I think that's what most of you will be getting, and it will be relatively similar to the golden version. However, if you would really like to see it, I suggest you go ahead and actually purchase this one for yourself, just so you can check it out. But anyway, let's get into the walk around. Alrighty, so the first thing that kind of hits me is how low this vehicle sits, which is interesting because with most SUVs, they kind of tend to sit a little bit higher, but the suspension just seems lower on this vehicle, which is interesting. I love the Sir Rodgers logo. It just looks absolutely fantastic on the front and the sides, as well as the wheels there. Just looks really good. Honestly, this vehicle just looks super long, super just rich and fantastic. It just... Oh, I can just picture rich people rolling around in this thing. This thing is insane, the amount of detail that we can kind of see on the outside here. It just looks absolutely fantastic. Here's what it sounds like starting up. Here's what its horn sounds like. And here's what it sounds like to drive. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and check out the headlights. So at the front, obviously we've got our lights that run all the time, but we've just got kind of those low level two little lights there, which actually really works with the vehicle. I like how they're not super, overpowering and bright when you see it. They're kind of just there because they have to be there, if that makes sense. Then over here on the back, it's the same sort of styling. It's just got that red ring, and I don't usually enjoy how some of the lights aren't bright on cars. However, with this one, it just kind of works. Now, at first, I thought that the blinkers would be the same kind of thing as the headlights. Very kind of low level and inconspicuous. However, we've got two bright yellow ones on the front there, and we've also got some on the sides, which is very, very surprising. It kind of illuminates the logo that is there, which is absolutely crazy. We've also got one there, but it doesn't really work, so that kind of makes, that doesn't make too much sense there, but we can let that slide. Same thing on the back there, but we've also got two giant yellow lights on the back, which just, I don't know if they work or not. I'm really pleased with them, because most vehicles, especially of this stature, they don't really have yellow lights on the back, but it does on this one, and this kind of gives the feeling like, okay, I've got my hazards on, this is an expensive car, don't crash into me. The 2020 Sir Rodgers Constellation is based off of the 2020 Rolls-Royce Cullinan in real life. Alright everyone, it is time for the 0 to 60 time, but due to the recent cruise control update, we are going to be able to do this very, very differently. So I have the cruise control currently set to around about 200 miles per hour, which is well above this vehicle's top speed, and we are going to be able to take off at full speed as soon as I release the P button, which we are going to start in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Okay, stopwatch has started, and I am not even touching my keyboard other than to steer. And there we go. Okay, so I'm looking at around 6.5 seconds for our top speed there. Now, I've just taken over here. We're going to have a look at our top speed. Yep, okay, that's 154 miles per hour, which is 248 kilometers per hour. So only 6.5 seconds to actually get to our 0 to 60, which is actually very, very good, considering this is a big, heavy vehicle. Now, how does this thing handle? Well, it absolutely handles like a dream, it seems. It just feels really, really nice, apart from me crashing into a pole there. But it really does just actually feel very well-rounded, which surprised me considering it is a big, heavy vehicle. Now, as you just saw there, the brakes are actually very, very good. Surprisingly good, in fact. And the acceleration, I would have to say, is very good for what it is. It is just not a vehicle for performance, although it does perform quite well. So the vehicle sells for $413,250, so I wouldn't recommend selling it, and remember, this is only the base. So think about how much you'd lose if you bought and sold the one for $1 million. I wonder how much you'd actually lose. Now, in the SUVs class, I have to rate this thing a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, it is just fantastic. Honestly, I'm actually considering keeping this and not selling it after this review. It's got some slight downsides, which kind of loses half a point, I suppose, but other than that, this is the perfect car. Even the base value, it is the perfect car if you just want to flex, pretty much. I mean, that is what it is. I forgot to actually mention, but this little avatar thing actually pops up whenever you get into the vehicle. So as you can see, when I pop out, it's gone, and when I pop in, it actually pops out, which is awesome. It's exactly like how it is on the real version of this vehicle. But it is just absolutely fantastic. It performs quite well. Its lights are quite good as well. And honestly, I just really, really like this thing. So hopefully you found this interesting or useful. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.